Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with game number 2 between OGN, SoJu, and Puzzle. This time we are on the map Daybreak, Puzzle spawning as our red Protoss player in the upper right hand spawn location, and his opponent down over here in the lower left is the yellow Zerg, OGN, SoJu. SoJu winning last game quite impressively. Puzzle opens up with a pylon wall off supported by a cannon of SoJu's main on Tal'Darim Altar, and SoJu says, you know what? I don't want to bust through that. Not going to get banelings, not going to get roaches. I'm going to start off with a quick layer, go into a nidus, and in just a few minutes, I'm going to be in your base. And that is exactly what he did. SoJu gets inside of Puzzle's main base, wreaks havoc of the main, and then is just relentlessly pushing against his natural, which then became his main base, and was able to get the victory. Puzzle just took a tremendous economic hit, and it's not like he had a base advantage over SoJu. SoJu was on one base as well. However, SoJu's economy was free and clear the entire time, whereas Puzzle was not only losing workers, but he was also having to pull workers off of mining just to deal with defending against the Zerglings. And yeah, as a result, SoJu of course had that advantage, eventually tech switched to roaches from Zerglings and banelings, and secured the victory from there. So there you have it. Another problem for Puzzle too, though, and I guess this is definitely worth mentioning, is that after he went for that pylon wall off, and he did his Forge Fast expand as well with that, he went ahead and got a Stargate. Now, he of course dumped resources into that. He dumped Vespene into it. He delayed his Warp Gate research because of that Stargate. Had he not done that, he could have had maybe another 1 or 2 gateways, and his Warp Gate research could have been started and finishing much earlier than it did in the game. And then maybe that would have been different, you know what I mean? With an extra 1 or 2 gateways, with Warp Gate research finished, maybe he would have been okay defending himself and he wouldn't have lost so early. But, you know, that's the risk you take when you go for some crazy build. And it looks like we are actually going to be seeing SoJu get down his natural expansion without Puzzle delaying it. Most times in this matchup, that probe is able to delay that hatch until those first pair of Zerglings come through. But again, SoJu was able to sneak a drone by Puzzle, which allowed him to get that hatch down a little bit earlier than he would typically be able to. And we got a couple Overlords moving across the map. One of them scouts the front of Puzzle's Forge Fast expand here, and the other Overlord is actually going to be pulling in this position. I expect him to kind of situate himself right here, most likely. Although that first Stalker is a ways off, so he could pull it back over here if he desired. But this is actually a pretty good spot for an Overlord, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he just set that right there. Probe now hiding over here for Puzzle as he prepares to try to go for some secondary scouting. You're going to see these Zerglings fanning out right now looking for that very probe. And they're going to catch each other here in the cross. Okay, Zerglings fortunately unable to stop the probe from scouting out the third. Now, SoJu doesn't have anything going down there, but denying that vision would have forced Puzzle to scout it again to see if there was a third going. But again, unable to do so. Zerglings and the Queen now will be forcing that probe away, but you know, Puzzle saw really what he needed to. He saw that there wasn't a third. There's one coming down right now, and is he going to circle back around? Yes, he is. And SoJu's not going to bother trying to hide this by like hiding the drone back here and placing the hatch down later. He's just going to say, I want to get my hatch up as soon as possible, so I don't care if you see it. It's coming. All right, now the probe should finally be making its way back home here. Taking a look. Puzzle looking normal over here. Warp Gate research coming out. He's got 2 Zealots and a Stalker now chrono boosting through. So actually thinking he might be trying to push forward and be a little bit aggressive towards that third early on. We are a ways away from getting any metabolic boost here, so a ways away from those speedlings. And those unupgraded Zerglings aren't the greatest against these Zealots early on, or the Stalker for that matter. And so here we go. Puzzle will, of course, will indeed rather be pushing out and being a little bit aggressive here with a few Zealots and a Stalker. And actually also moving down with a probe as he continues to chrono boost out that Warp Gate research. I see another couple gateways here from him. Alright, 2 Zealots and a Stalker now making its way towards the third here of SoJu, which is just about to finish. The probe probably going to be placing down a pylon at some point. But here comes the harass now. Question is, how is SoJu going to deal with this? Got a couple of Zerglings moving over. Don't know if that's going to be enough, though. Zerglings try to get a surround on the Stalker. Stalker is going to micro back, allowing the Zealots to take a bulk of that damage. More and more Zergling reinforcements, and that'll be enough. Might lose the queen, though. Queen trying to pull away. So, Zerglings get us around, and SoJu with that clutch queen defense with 5 HP left, able to take it out. And it looks like he's being pretty active here with these Zerglings. Just out of range right now of this pylon that's being constructed back here behind this little smoke cloud. Let's see if he manages to scout that out, though. Nothing yet. He's got a ton of Zerglings just waiting for a probe to come by, but all right, here it is. Now with this pylon in, we got a few Zealots getting warped up. And the Zerglings now finally scout that. That's a lot of Zealots, though, and this is probably going to be enough to force him back. It's a bit too many Zealots for him to deal with. So unfortunately, scouts out a little too late. Had he just been a little more active and pushed those Zerglings even just one a little bit more forward, he could have taken out that pylon before that first warp in came. And that would have been quite huge, but again, unable to do so. Now we got a Roach Warren in construction right now to try to deal with this aggression that's about to come forth. 4 Zealots and 4 Stalkers getting ready to push this third. A couple Spines getting placed down, 12 Zerglings in production. Don't know that they're going to make it here in time, though. Queen also on the verge of death, and there it is. Queen gets taken out. Now the Spines are the target of Puzzle's push here. Zergling reinforcements now finally out. They need to be careful also about positioning. If Puzzle puts himself in a good position, that could be a problem. And he decides, you know what? I'm going to stop anything else from coming through. Moves forward, going to take out that pylon. We could see another warp in before this happens, but no. Takes out the pylon. That is big. He's now stopping any more reinforcements from coming forward, and this is now going to give him the confidence with these Zergling numbers to take out these Zealots and try to chase back those Stalkers. Stalkers with some micro, though, are going to be able to continue to do some damage here. Again, without that metabolic boost finished, Stalkers do have that slight advantage with that micro. Yes, able to continue to pick off those Zerglings. Now that metabolic boost is just about to finish, and here come a lot more Zerglings. A lot more Zerglings indeed. And a very wise of Puzzle to be pushing back, realizing that that speed upgrade is probably just about finished. Lots of sentries here. Puzzle's all set to defend. That is sentry overkill. 9 sentries, holy hell. But the good thing is, that's enough. That is more than enough for him to defend any continued push here. Not if he leaves his base, though. Is at the Xel'Naga Tower, right outside of his natural, and the Speedlings about to stream their way in. It looks like we got a full wall off, though. I don't believe there's a space there, so. Yeah, that is a full wall off, but he will be able to do some damage. Now that push is coming across the map here. Puzzle just about to hit the third here of SoJu. Let's see what these Zerglings can do. A couple sentries coming forward. There are the Roaches, so we're going to have just a counterattack as well from Puzzle. Puzzle not even worried about this right now. He's willing to try to go for this little bit of a base trade. He's going to start streaming these sentries here towards the natural. We got a couple Spines plus those Roaches and Zerglings. And you can see with those force fields, able to defend and protect right now his main base, but his natural is about to get torn apart. Got some Speedlings and Roaches moving down to try to get those sentries. Need to be careful of those force field walls. The third is down as expected. Able to take out that cannon finally, but he's not going to be able to take out this Nexus. He's done a significant amount of damage, killing off 16 workers, and look at this, Puzzle being very idle, finally getting mobile there with that force and getting ready to push the natural. However, waiting that long could have been a mistake, because this has bought time for SoJu to get out some more defenses. As he's got his Spines, more Roaches coming through, but it's not enough. Puzzle tearing through this Roach count right now with that huge amount of force field walls. And his entire force at Puzzle's natural expansion has finally been taken out. So he's got no counter response at all. Another pylon also getting placed up here. With some more Speedling reinforcements, though, it does finally have enough to force Puzzle back, and the Speedlings will be able to chase down these Stalkers and Sentries. He's not doing them properly. There we go. I was going to say, he just had them basically on auto attack. He's not going to bother chasing down this force, though, as he's continuing to move now in this direction and actually cutting off the Stalkers. And the Roaches coming in to try to deal with the Zealots. The Stalkers get us around. I mean, the Zerglings get us around on the Stalkers. Takes out everything now that Puzzle had. He's going to continue up the aggression as he pushes now towards the natural expansion of Puzzle. Puzzle's got a lot of Zealots in play, plus that one sentry. Zealots don't help him too much against the Roaches. Doesn't have enough sentries to get a huge force field wall off, but speaking of which, a bunch more sentries come through. So now actually that heavy Zealot numbers will be pretty good. He can get force fields behind the Roaches, allowing the Zealots to catch up, and then they can do quite a bit of damage. We got Burrow Research coming through, as well as Carpus level 1, Roach Speed in that Glau Reconstitution. Of course, with this Overlord placement, SoJu sees the army. He also sees that composition. And the 3rd and 4th now getting constructed here for SoJu. As he spots out the 3rd, and Puzzle is still just on 2 bases. I don't know if he can really engage that right now, though. I'm not sure if he has enough. Looks like he's gonna try. Here we go. Able to get up nice and close before those force field walls get placed down. Still got his Roaches doing some damage. We got some Roaches pushing from the backside. 1 force field is just enough to protect that ramp. We got the Roaches now squeezing their way through. And Puzzle is able to defend here, forcing SoJu back. I am not sure that that was the best idea for SoJu to engage. That seemed to like, I don't know, it seemed like a bit much that he was contending with. And it's not like he didn't see it. SoJu had pretty much full vision of that army. He's now dealing with a Zealot over here at the 3rd. Looks like that was warped in from this pylon and pushed on over into that position. Burrow tunneling claws research. Now that Burrow is finished, we're going to see those tunneling claws for those Roaches. This allows him to get under those force fields. However, we do have some observer action in play. Now, so this is only one. Yes, it is. That is his only observer that is making its way across the map right now. So, of course, he needs an observer with his main army if he's going to be able to deal with those Burrowed Roaches. Still a little bit of a ways away from those tunneling claws, though. It's about halfway complete. And that observer is now making its way into the main. We do have an infestation pit being built right now here for SoJu. Also an overseer coming through. This will allow him to take out that observer, which should be happening here in a second. Is that overseer going to make it out in time? Oh gosh, so close to taking it out. Sneaks away just barely with 6 health left. Puzzle now going to make his way across the map. We're going to see SoJu rally his units now towards his middle expansion here. One in the middle of the map. That's why I'm calling it the middle expansion. A few more Stalkers and a Sentry get warped in, and Puzzle getting ready for a big push. Now he's got 1-1 upgrades done. SoJu just has his armor right now, getting his weapons soon, but not there yet. Big force field wall. SoJu, though, continuing to push there, finally decides to pull back. And with no observer with his army, unable to snipe down those Roaches when they burrow and sneak back. Now he's going to continue to push here. He's got a lot of Roaches. His level 1 missile attack upgrade also just about to finish. That's going to make those Roaches that much more effective. Pathogen gland research coming out as well. So that when he gets those infestors, he can fungal right away when they hatch. And I don't know where that observer went. Did he finally kill it off? Oh no, looks like there was an observer. Is it with the main army? I can't tell.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh, there it is. All right, I knew it was somewhere. We also do have a warp prism coming through here. This is going to allow for, of course, those mobile warp-ins. Now, Infester's just about to finish. However, Puzzle is ready to engage right now as he pushes forward, places down that warp prism pylon energy. This is going to force SoJu to engage. And there's the Burrow pulling back with his Roaches. With the observer finally there, he's able to snipe off those Roaches, but a few of them do manage to get away. Infester's now popping. However, he has lost a significant amount of his force. So I'm not sure that he is going to have enough, and that is it. Game is over. Replay is done. You can take a look at the time there. No GG or nothing. It looks like SoJu just leaves the game. Well, I have to be perfectly honest with you, I'm a little bit perplexed as to why this game ended when it did. I actually don't even really believe that SoJu left the game. It is possible, but I almost think whoever uploaded this replay left the game at that point, and unfortunately it ended in 1949. I don't think it was necessarily over. I do certainly believe that Puzzle was about to take out this middle expansion, but whether or not SoJu actually left, I have no idea of knowing. And again, I apologize for this, but the replay just ended. We'll be moving on to Game 3 in just a moment here. And because of the fact that there's game 3, I do assume, of course, that Puzzle won this game. So maybe indeed, SoJu did leave the game, and that is why it ended so abruptly. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Kind of disappointed there's no GG or anything. Really weird ending. But we'll be moving on to game 3 in just a moment. Hold on to your butts.